Well, important news for the DACA recipients. As you heard in the media, the Supreme Court of the United States blocked the Trump administration on trying to terminate DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And to talk about this, I have John Broyles, the immigration attorney, John Broyles. Hi, John. Thank you for your time. How are you?
Hi, Luis. Thank you for having me on.
Well, let me start with this question because everybody's celebrating. Everybody's saying this is great. Of course, this is the first step on a positive side or a positive way. But what does this decision represent legally for the Dreamers?
Well, I think it's been a bad week overall for the Trump administration. I mean, this is the second big loss that has come out of the Supreme Court just this week. The previous one on LGBT rights. So for Dreamers, this means that they are going to get to continue to maintain DACA. They're going to get to continue to renew their work permits in 2-year increments until the administration either takes further action to try to eliminate it, which likely there will not be time before the election. And hopefully in the election, we're going to get a different outcome.
Now, we understand that the DACA recipients those who already have DACA, who were approved DACA before, can submit the application to renew. But with this decision, the people who never submitted an application for DACA, can they do it now? Can the Immigration Service start receiving new applications for DACA?
No, we don't think that this is going to open up new applications at this time. I mean, yes, it's a decision that just came out and some interpretation is going to have to be done, but we don't believe that new applicants or applicants that hadn't previously submitted are going to be able to submit. Now, if you did submit before and you let it expire and you're still within the 1-year provision to renew, then you should be able to renew.
Okay. What about the travel permit? So before the Trump administration in 2017 terminated DACA, there were options to request or submit applications for travel documents so that the DACA recipients were able to travel out of the country and come back legally. Are they going to be able to do that, to request travel documents?
We don't know. I mean, the travel permits are very important for DACA recipients, not only because of the ability for them to travel and go see family or participate in school programs and things like that, but it also, for many DACA recipients, has provided a pathway for them to adjust status and to become permanent residents and actually leave DACA behind. And so we would hope that travel permission may come back, but right now it's too soon to tell. We're going to have to wait and see.
Okay, and I'm going to go back to that question because you say that it's important for DACA recipients, and I'm going to go back to that later, so you can tell us why it's important for them to re-enter legally to the country. But can the Trump administration appeal this decision, the Supreme Court decision on DACA?
It's not really a decision. The Supreme Court is the final court, so it's not a decision to appeal. But what the court did is, the reason that it was denied is because it ruled that the Trump administration did not follow the Administrative Procedures Act. And they did leave the door open for the Trump administration to go back and state more of a rational basis for why it wants to cancel DACA. And if it did so, it may withstand court challenge. But right now, the timing of that, it's probably not going to be able to happen and work its way back through the courts before the election. So now it truly does become a political issue.
Now, is it possible, since the issue was that the Trump administration didn't do it in the proper way, can the Trump administration, and I guess this is a risk, can they restart the whole process to terminate DACA again, just doing it in the correct way?
They can try to come up with a more rational basis that they articulate the reasons for why they believe that DACA should be canceled. Of course, that's subject to being reviewed by the courts again. And it's a lengthy process to work your way through the courts. So I don't see that happening before the November election.
Okay. Now, going back to the travel document and the importance for someone who re-entered the country legally, which a lot of people, a lot of DACA recipients took that opportunity when it was available. Why is the travel document important for those who were able to use it?
Well, the travel document is really important because if you did not have a legal entry, meaning your first entry to the United States was without inspection, meaning you didn't have a visa and you weren't inspected by an immigration officer, getting this travel document provided you a way to correct that and now have a legal entry. And so if you're married to a U.S. citizen and you have a legal entry, then you can apply for adjustment of status here versus having to leave the country in consular process. So it was a very, very important benefit for many DACA recipients to be able to expedite their path towards getting a green card.
By adjustment of status, mean applying for the green card, of course.
Applying here versus having to travel to your country, and oftentimes the consulates are backlogged or the process takes longer. Everything can be done in a local USCIS office near where you live, and that was a huge advantage.
What will be your recommendation for the DACA recipients who haven't submitted their application now? What will be your recommendation for that and for the near future?
Well, my recommendation is if you have the ability to get DACA and maintain it, then by all means you should be doing that because it gives you a work permit. It helps you avoid picking up criminal issues such as driving without a license, because once you have DACA and a work permit, you can get a driver's license. And it just makes everything much easier, and it helps you avoid the risk of doing something that can further detriment your immigration status. In addition, we believe now that this is going to be front and center for Congress to take action on a longer term fix or solution for DACA recipients to get a more permanent status, and the Democrats have already proposed something. So, having it, I think, is going to be very important.
Now, do you think that if Donald Trump is reelected, are we going to have some sort of fix for the Dreamers? Because I don't see a way to that the Trump administration is willing to fix the immigration system in the United States.
So if Mr. Trump, it's going to depend on, our government consists not just of a president, and it consists of a House and a Senate and the president. And so even if Donald Trump is reelected, depending on what happens to the composition of the House and the Senate, you could still get laws that go forward. And yes, Donald Trump could veto it. If a long-term fix was passed by both houses and sent to the president, he could veto it. But if it's a bipartisan solution, they may be able to override a veto and still get something passed and through. So, I think Donald Trump being reelected is not going to mean an absolute end to Dreamers and their opportunity to obtain legal status.
If Joe Biden is elected, do you think the chances will increase to get the immigration system get fixed?
Well, I would assume it would take the likelihood of a veto off the table. And
okay.
So, and depending on the constituency of the House and the Senate, if we increase the number of Democrats, although you do have to remember that even when there was Democratic control, a long-term fix for Dreamers could not pass. So it's by no means a guarantee that something favorable is going to happen, but I do think it's more likely with the Democratic Party than with the current administration.
Right. Is there anything else you want to add to the interview, John?
No, I just think it's a great day. I just can't imagine how the dreamers must feel. A weight has been lifted off of their shoulders. They were making all of these contingency plans about
Yeah.
what to do, and I'm just really excited about the opportunities for the future and what could happen.
All right. Give us your phone number in case the people who are watching have more questions for you.
Sure, they can call the office at 317-571-3600. That's 317-571-3600.
All right. Thank you so much, John, for your
All
time.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
And thank you. You too. And if you want to watch the Spanish version, it's out there also in YouTube. So look it up. Thank you so much for watching.